Welcome back. All right, so tonight, Yvonne and I went to the Abbotsford game, as some may know. And by the Abbotsford game, I mean the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames, who played here in Abbotsford. Vancouver did win the game. It's preseason. Both teams resting most of their veterans. But there were some impressive performances by Vancouver Canuck players. Willander looked pretty good. And that's good news for Canuck fans. If he ends up, coming out of training camp and playing with the big club to start the season, that's a huge boost on the blue line. I thought Mancini had some good moments tonight on that blue line as well. Maybe they're fighting for the same position. Hedl was probably one of the more prominent forwards for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. In general, I thought it was a good game the first two periods. Then in the third period, you're getting into its preseason. You can tell they're not quite in sync. And that happens. I thought Prosvetov got better as the game went along as well. I thought he had a bit of a shaky first period, comparatively speaking, with the second and third. I didn't think that the Canucks got enough shots on him when he seemed to be a little bit shakier there, maybe that's part of it. Maybe he needed more pucks than he was seeing to that point in the game. But he played the whole game. Tolopilo came on in the third period for the Canucks. I thought he had a decent third period. He had one spectacular save where the puck was definitely going to cross the line, and he stopped it. Demko allowed the one goal that Calgary had tonight. But I thought Demko had a good game. And so I wore my Demko jersey to the game because I knew we were going to see Thatcher Demko play. Also, our season ticket rep in Abbotsford came down and gave us a couple of pucks. Also gave us a couple of pins. So that was awesome. And they came over and talked to my wife as well. Yvonne definitely had an easier time tonight because we did Uber to and from the game. So no driving required there. I think that made it a little bit easier for her. She was definitely sore by the end of the game. Sitting in seats at a hockey game can be tough on the best of nights, but when you're already dealing with recovery, which she is, it definitely added to that. And I did ask her at various points of the night, "Are you okay? Do you need to get up? Do you need to leave?" If she had said to me, I don't know that I can sit through the whole game, I would have come home, absolutely. But it was a good game. It was a good game. It was fun. It was fun to go out. I thought that it was an entertaining game for a preseason game. There's not a whole lot you can take from a preseason game, of course. And I do wonder, between Vancouver and Calgary, it will be interesting to see which one finishes ahead of the other during the regular season. You can make the argument for either team finishing ahead by the end of the season. I think for Calgary, it's going to depend on... I think the fact that I saw Prosvetov tonight, I think that's a big thing. He needs to be a reliable backup so they're not overplaying Wolf. What else could I add? I think Cairns has a decent chance of playing for the Calgary Flames. He has good offensive instincts, and I think they're going to need that. So I don't know exactly where he'll slot into the lineup necessarily, but that's for other people to figure out. When you're a young player and you're trying to earn yourself a job, it's not your problem that there's other players on the team that they had plans for. If you play better than they do, that's what happens. And it does feel like with the Flames, the way that Craig Conroy runs things, Ryan Husker runs things, that it will be based on merit. So I think there's some guys on that Flames roster who have done well. I was kind of surprised at how little I saw from Ulriksson for the Canucks tonight. Although we got into some physicality there in the third period, so there'll probably be some of that for him. McEachern had some good opportunities. That's Mackenzie McEachern. Now a member of the Canucks as well. He is highly, highly likely to start the season, of course, in Abbotsford and probably play most of the season in Abbotsford. I kind of see him as a Phil DiGiuseppe replacement. I don't know that you necessarily can replace what Phil brought to the team in general in that Calder Cup run, but it's fun. And it was a good night. I really have zero complaints on tonight's game. There were a lot of subscribers who pulled me aside. Here's what I did find funny, though, is that I did go out onto the concourse. I was going to get a 50-50 ticket, and the guy who was in our area was busy and had a line. And I thought, well, there should be somebody who's selling 50-50 who might not be too busy. Silly me. I didn't win. So I found somebody, but on the way to and from, there were people like, hey, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture? And in between that period of time, there was a bit of a jump in terms of subscriber numbers. So here's what I think. I think people recognize me at the game who are not subscribers, got a selfie taken with me, and then thought, feels kind of bad that we took his time and we're not subscribers to the channel. So we should subscribe to the channel, right, guys? So I mean, it works, right? But I did find that kind of funny. I know that's not what it is. I know that me posting a video of my Stanley Cup pick, that always gets a bit of a boost in terms of views and everything else. So that normally does equate to more subscribers. But it was fun. It was nice getting out of the house. And yeah, things went pretty well. I'm trying to think of something else to tell all you fine people on the internet. And yeah, the only thing I can say is that's the only time I want to see the Vancouver Canucks until March, when they play against the Senators. That's the only regular season Vancouver game that I'm going to at this point. There is a game a week earlier against Detroit that I could go to. That's the other one I am thinking about, but I'm still leaning towards a no on that one. But we'll see. Once I start the regular season and I start doing the reviews the new way on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we'll see how those go. We'll see how all that goes and all that fun stuff. And I'm looking forward to sharing all that with all you fine people. I did talk to members about that today, and the members seem to think it's going to go well. I even showed off my new double-sided board. So, there's that. But, yeah, so thanks, guys, for watching. And for anybody who came up to me while I was out wandering around, thank you. It is always appreciated. I don't go out a lot. So when I do go out and people let me know that they appreciate my videos, that they like the content on the channel, it does make a difference. It is one of those things that does manage to keep my spirits up at certain points. There have been times where I've been kind of down and I've had those interactions with people and gone, you know what? That's that second wind I needed. So thank you guys so much for providing that for me. Other point too of business here. I did find a couple of nice Vancouver Canucks hats. I like these a lot. And then I finally have an Abbotsford Canucks Champs hat. I finally have an Abbotsford Canucks that says Champs. And that is a hat that I will carry with me forever. I don't know that a Canucks-based franchise will ever win a championship again. So I absolutely have a lot of gear, a lot of stuff for that because it's an experience. It's something I don't know they'll ever have again. So, yeah, kind of a fun night. But thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Do hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. And tomorrow night we go back to the normal reviews with the whiteboard and everything. I don't know which games I'm going to watch tomorrow. I think I'll probably watch a couple. Just kind of pacing myself through the preseason and all that. Getting myself back up to regular season form, right? So, yeah, trying to do that. My workouts, markers in each hand, and, trying to work two boards at once. Kidding. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's greatly appreciated. And that was a fun game tonight. Not just because they won. Winning definitely helps, but it was a good game. There was a fight in there as well, which was Farabee against LeBate. And I thought, LeBate's a tough customer. I don't know if I'd necessarily drop the gloves with him, but yeah, Farabee held his own there too. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. Greatly appreciated, and I appreciate each and every person watching this video. That being said, I'm going to go for now, but I will talk to you again. Well, probably in the morning, right? And I'll talk to you then.